geopolitical shifts are, changing the norms, changing partnerships that we've, been accustomed to for so long. And on the surface, everywhere we look, there's some true cause for concern and for despair. But as young people, growing up in this time when we can just easily be inundated with the news of so much crisis in the world, I think that with that rise of the crisis and with the rise of these destructive forces, there's equally so a rise in the yearning for change, for meaningful impact, and for people of any age, but in particular youth, to be able to create that impact and the change that they want to see in society. So increasingly, there's this sense that humanity is seeking a compelling vision for the future, and that when it feels like there's no way forward, that we find a way forward.
But I am here because I am not a young adult. I am not a youth, and it's really refreshing to be able to listen to your comments and your thoughts, because we understand that, we're in a space where you are the majority, but we find ourselves, hearing about the data, and then as adults, we talk about it. And even with social media, we hear about the data, but when it comes to solutions, it's still something adults do. And I don't like that. But I do have a question for the panelists, and thank you for the thoughts and this opportunity to speak, because I'd like to know about communication and this intergenerational topic and this conversation that we're having. It's wonderful, but it seems like you're absolutely right. We come up with things and then they get shelved because there's some type of disconnect. And I want to know how my generation, I was born in the 1900s, but how can my generation start digesting the words and the information and the solutions that you have? Yeah, just because there's something that we're not getting. I don't know what it is, but you're coming, we asked you to get education, you got education. Then we're like, okay, we need you to make a white paper. You did the white paper. Okay, we need a 500-word report. We need a 100-page report. You're doing these things, but we are not, there's something that we are not doing to complete the process. And I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Safe space.
Okay. First of all, thank you for such a nice question. But I would like to say, we're not coming to your table, we are coming to the table. And I feel like that's where the miscommunication is. It is not yours. How we would love for it to be, it's an open space, it's the table. People before you had that position, gave it passed down, it passed down, it passed down. And we would love that to happen as well. But there has been some sort of shift of hoarding of the powers. Currently, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the pay is too good. I mean, it could be something like that. But there's that hoarding of the position, not wanting to let it go. And also, like you said, maybe we thought maybe I need to get a master's. Oh, heck, maybe I need to get a PhD. We have people who have PhDs now at the age of 22, and you're like, what? And so we're doing everything we can. But I think it's still that mentality of it's our table. You guys are going to come and change everything that we've planned and put in order. But then we see what's going on currently on ground, and these decisions that you're currently putting in place, they affect us the most and the future generations to come. And so sometimes I know it hurts, how you could correct your mom and say, no, that's wrong. I mean, you just sort of feel like, I also hate it when my young sister tells me that's wrong. I'm like, what do you know? Like, you're like, okay, yeah, sure, you're right. And you have that ego where you're like, I don't want to tell her, yes, you're right, I'm wrong. It's that sort of type of thing. But then we really love it that there's some stakeholders, some people in those decision-making platforms who really have shown us that it's possible, because they love to engage. They love to speak with young people. They love to hear our views. They love to be challenged. They're like, challenge me. What did I do wrong? What are the priorities? Like, for example, I'm in the Youth Sounding Board for the European Union delegation in Tanzania. And the ambassador, we advise the ambassador on the different priorities they have in the country. And she loves to be challenged. We go there and we tell her, no, we want to co-create with you. We don't want you to just send us to a mission. No. And so it's the sort of thing of, it's not their table. And I feel like we need to start looking at it in the form of mentorship, Like, and I feel like they need to be proud that if you actually put a young person in this table and is doing even better, you have to take pride to say, I helped, it's part of like, I groomed this person, but it's that thing of like hoarding and the idea of it's our table. So like, how can it become the table? And, I love what, it was the ambassador for the US Embassy in Tanzania had once told me in a meeting we met. He was like, you know what? I too was once, like they forget that they were once youth as well. And how do you forget like so quickly? It's so surprising. Like, how do they forget that they were also once passionate, that they also wanted to see change? And for most people who are in these spaces, I like to say that I've never been one to just sit down and complain about issues. I like to be a part of the process. So sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I need to be president of the university because I don't like this. So now I put myself into that position. And it's what we're trying to do as well. Like we don't like something and we're like, maybe if I engage there, I could be able to effect change. So just that they should remember that they too, those experienced before us should remember that you were once young and passionate as well. And somebody gave you that room and not even gave you. I also don't like to use the word gave you. Somebody, acknowledged the fact that you deserve to be there, that you have, like, it's important for you to be there. So yeah, not the hour, but the table.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you for that.
adding on to that, so thank you so much, because I resonated so much with all of that. But one thing I've also seen is, so for some context, I know Sonali, I actually run a youth-led nonprofit, and intergenerational collaboration is a huge thing for us. So inherently, we are youth-led, but we see the experiences of adults in our community as super valuable. And this has been a huge challenge we've had over the last few years, as adults have kind of wanted to like take the reins a little bit. But one thing I've realized is there's also this savior complex a lot of adults have, not intentionally, of course, but oh, I can help you. Like I've done this before. Like we can solve these problems for you. But I think some of it's that learning and experience, and even if you see it in mentorship, right? It's a lot of the times the elder helping the young person, but being able to reframe it as double-sided mentorship. So as you help them, they are helping you in a different way.